Of LaPage County Planning and Zoning Committee is called to order. This meeting and all other meetings of this committee are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the media in accordance with Wisconsin statutes so that the citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting. This meeting will be broadcast for remote access on a live stream on YouTube at the address published. This meeting may inadvertently cause a quorum of other county committees or the county board of supervisors. No business decisions of any other committees or the board of supervisors will be conducted at this meeting. Roll call shows all the committee members are here. Have you had a chance to look at the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda. The amended agenda.
Seconded.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Hardy to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Then there's the minutes from July 3rd, 2025.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Wingelski, seconded by Supervisor Ertl to approve the minutes from July 3rd. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. This time we open the floor for public comment. If you're on the agenda, you will have your turn. We can take no action on public comment. Any public comment? Any public comment? Third call, any public comment? Any supervisor reports? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move on.
The Planning and Zoning Committee meeting and public hearings to be considered today, Thursday, August 7, 2025, are open to the public. Anyone present may speak, providing they stand up and identify themselves and have filled out a notice of public appearance sheet, which are located in the box by the entrance door. Anyone attending by phone or Zoom meeting may speak, provided they identify themselves by name and address before doing so. We're recording these proceedings, so it's important that you state your name and address before addressing the committee. We request that you do not interfere with or interject comments with another person as the floor. The chair will permit adequate time for anyone wishing to speak and may compel the attendance of witnesses. The following hearings have been published as Class 1 and Class 2 notices in accordance with Chapter 985 of the Wisconsin State Statute, and will be heard by this committee. Number 1, comprehensive plan amendment within the town of Helvetia. Number 2, JP Media Holdings LLC. 3, 5M Storage LLC. 4, Storage George Cedar III / Goose Resort LLC. 5, Trevor Kazuski and Ashlyn Peters. 6, Aaron R. Nemeth et al. 7, Carlo I. Lance. The County Zoning Committee is a delegated union of the county board by ordinance to consider zoning ordinance amendments and decide conditional uses. The zoning committee is interested in hearing all pertinent evidence. Witnesses in favor of the application will be called first. Those opposed second, and then others. After each witness has appeared, he or she may be questioned by the committee. Persons present who are not appearing as witnesses will be allowed to propose relevant questions to put to the committee. However, the chair reserves the right to rule on relevancy, and no member of the audience will be allowed to give testimony without being sworn. Because the record of this hearing is being recorded, it is imperative that each witness or speaker identify themselves and their interest in the subject matter of this hearing before speaking. Please speak in the direction of the recorder on the presentation table. A time limit on the presentations may be imposed. I do request that you avoid repetition and limit your remarks to the subject matter being considered. Neither the committee nor your neighbors will benefit from hearing statements that repeat opinions which have already been expressed or that relate to matters other than the case before the committee. Personal attacks or abusive testimony and gross hearsay, rumor, or gossip will be ruled out of order by the chair, subject to immediate appeal to the majority of the committee. With that, we'll call this first public hearing to order. The purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the application for a comprehensive plan amendment The proposed amendment to the comprehensive plan preferred land use map is within the town of Helvetia. To amend the preferred land use category, a part of parcel located in the southwest quarter of northwest quarter of section 31, lying along Anston Road and State Road 161, fire number N7528, Wapaka County, Wisconsin, part of parcel 08-31-23-4, from commercial to agricultural on approximately 19.76 acres, to accommodate the proposed split and future use of the property. Will the secretary now please read the names of the persons notified of?
Jeffrey Opper, Town Chair, Douglas Hines, Town Clerk, Justin Hintz, Town Supervisor, Michael Grassel, Town Supervisor, Lila Malvik Shower, District Supervisor, Department of Natural Resources, Dale Rezabeck, Wisconsin Department of Transportation, Kelly Niklaus, Wapaka County Non-Metallic Mining Operators, Wapaka County Corporation Council, JP Media Holdings LLC owner, Diana Jones agent, B&N Real Estate LLC, BB Faldet Holdings LLC, Delta Ventures LLC, Faldet Farms Incorporated, JAL Land Holdings LLC, Seamers Valley LLC, Aaron R. and Brandy L. Jorgensen, Donald K. and Patricia P. Lewison, Eric R. and Nancy J. Whelan, and Heidi and James Schaefer.
I hereby direct a copy of this affidavit to be filed as part of the record of these proceedings. And the committee will now hear the application for the comprehensive plan amendment within the town of Helvetia. And the planning and zoning office will now present it.
Thank you very much, and good morning.
Good morning.
So what we are looking at here is we have a property, and as we've seen many times before, there's going to be two separate hearings. One is for the comprehensive plan amendment to the preferred land use map that we're hearing now, and the next hearing is going to be for a zone map amendment affecting the same area. So this entire parcel right now, as you can see on the preferred land use map, is planned for commercial use on it. They are proposing to split the parcel to keep, they're going to keep the portion with the building on it currently as commercial, and they're proposing to amend the rest of it to agriculture so that they can potentially build a house on one of the lots. The zone map amendment you'll see later is to go to an ag within transition district that's going to allow for them to build a house on it. Any questions of me at all? This one I think is pretty simple for it. It's actually a fairly large parcel to be zoned commercial, so it's probably makes a whole lot of sense.
How many development rights is each parcel going to have?
Good question. At least one per. We would have assured that was the case. I don't know what the assignment is off the top of my head, but they will definitely have a development right for each of the parcels.
I don't have any questions. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. Thank you, Jason. Is there any other testimony in favor of this application?
My name is Diana Jones.
I have to swear you in.
Oh, perfect.
You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you. Go
What's your
for it.
comment?
Okay.
You want to come up here?
Sure, sure.
State your name and address, and for the record.
My name is Diana Jones. My address is 305 McKinley Street in Iola, Wisconsin. I am the owner of JP Media Holdings, LLC. I've been the owner since 2017. I've been renting the property, the agricultural property, to a local farmer since I've taken over the business. But I know it had been used agriculturally for over 20 years. We have cattle grazing on there now. So it just made sense at this point to turn that over. And then again, I'm looking at hopefully building a house on part of it. So excited about that.
It's never often to go back for some commercial back to eggs.
That's
It's nice to see.
Any other questions?
And then just to give you a heads up, there'll be another hearing after this one. It'll be
No, that's
pretty
fine.
much the same.
Yeah. Just stick around. Well, you stay for the second hearing anyway, but in case any other questions come up. So
Yep.
I'll call for more testimony. Any other testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, any testimony in favor? Any testimony in opposition? Any testimony in opposition? Third call, any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony? Are there any letters?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have the town recommendation form for the JP Media Holdings LLC property identified as part parcel 0831234. It states current preferred land use is commercial with a proposed preferred land use, district of agriculture. Describe proposed use of the property, single family residence, animal husbandry. States, is the proposal consistent with the preferred land use map as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. Is the proposal consistent with the town goals, objectives, and development strategies as found in the town comprehensive plan? Also checked as yes. Town Plan Commission recommended approval signed by Gary Pearl on June 3rd, 2025. Town Board also recommended approval signed by Jeff Upper and Doug Hines on that same day, June 3rd, 2025. I also have the corresponding resolution and ordinance from the township for that. Then I have an email from Susan Landenberg from the DNR stating, thank you for the notice. Please let the committee know that the DNR letter will not be sent. And then also Kelly Nicklaus with the Department of Transportation stating that they have no concerns.
Thank you. I guess that was a question that I thought of now, which that middle parcel is where are they wanting road access? Onstead Road or 161? But Kelly Nicholas has no issues. I guess it doesn't matter. So
Right, and they'll have to work with them in terms of the driveway access. And just for the record, are you planning on utilizing Onstead Road or?
Onstead, there is an access road on 161. You can actually see it on the map there. It's actually right on the border, on the far right. So there is an access road that is used by just farmers that are, cultivating land.
sure. Okay. Any other questions from the committee? If not, we'd be in order to have a motion for this comp plan amendment.
Make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second
Okay, moved by Supervisor Hurdle, seconded by Supervisor Wangelsky to approve this comp plan amendment. Roll call vote. Hurdle,
Yes.
Merowitz,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Wangelsky.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion to close the hearing? Motion to close. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Hardy, seconded by Supervisor Earl to close the hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries.
With that, we'll call the second public hearing to order. The purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the application for JP Media Holdings LLC. Again, located at the southwest quarter of northwest quarter of Section 31, line along Hempstead Road and State Road 161, fire number 10-758, Town of Station, Packet County, Wisconsin, part of 8-31-23-4. For petition for a zone map amendment from the rural commercial neighborhood RC-M district to the agricultural woodland transition AWT district on approximately again 20 or 19.76 acres to accommodate the proposed split and future use of this property. We already heard all the names before, so we don't need to have a previous hearing. But I guess I direct them again to be part of this file. The committee has conducted an on-site inspection of this property, and now the committee will now hear again the application. At this time for JP Media Holdings LLC. Will the applicant again come forward?
For a testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a seat and tell us what the application's about.
So the application is to rezone to the agriculture and woodland transition. And there's, I believe, a 7-acre parcel approximately, and then the remainder, 3 acres for the building, and then the remainder is what I'll be renting out for agriculture for cattle.
You did.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yep, not dissimilar to what we just heard. Yep, so for the committee's information, it's just amending the zoning from rural commercial neighborhood to agriculture and woodland transition.
So you've been farming, is what you said. So are you still paying commercial taxes on the whole?
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
I don't have any other questions. It's such a nice high drive property too. There isn't any issues with any of it from what I could see. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'll call for more testimony. Any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Third call, any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony? Are there any letters?
Yes, I have the town recommendation form for the JP Media Holdings LLC property identified by part parcel 08312334 with a current zoning district of rural commercial neighborhood and a proposed zoning district of agriculture and woodland transition. States what will the proposed use of the parcel be if the rezoning is approved? It indicates single family residence, animal husbandry. Is the proposal consistent with the preferred land use map as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. Is the proposal consistent with the town goals, objectives, and development strategies as found in the town comprehensive plan? Also checked as yes. Town Plan Commission recommended approval signed by Gary Prill on June 3rd, 2025. Town Board also recommended approval signed by Jeffrey Opper and Douglas Hines also on June 3rd of 2025. And again, I have an email from Susan Vanden Langenberg with the DNR that says, thank you for the additional information. Please let the committee know that no DNR letter will be sent.
Thank you. Does the planning and zoning office have a recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Given the township's position on this, and as the applicant stated, we're actually matching the zoning to the current use of the property and the proposed use of the property. Planning and zoning is in favor of this being approved.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Hardy to approve the zone map amendment. Roll call vote. Ertl. Starowitz. Hardy.
Yes.
Yagowski.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Wingelsky to close the hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, with that, we'll call the third public hearing to order. The purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the application for 5M Storage LLC located in the northeast quarter of the southeast quarter of section 11, lying off of US Highway 45, fire number N9059, town of Bear Creek, Wapaca County, Wisconsin, parcel 01-11-41-4. For a conditional use permit, a dwelling that's less than 22 feet in width in the agricultural retention district of approximately 4.38 acres. Will the secretary now please read the names of the persons notified of this hearing?
Douglas Banky, Town Chair, Teresa Huss, Town Clerk, Daryl Seafelt, Town Supervisor, Patrick Huss, Town Supervisor, Wisconsin Department of Transportation, Kelly Nichols, Wapaca County Corporation Counsel, 5M Storage LLC owner, Michael Johnson agent, Mother Goose Holdings LLC, Veronica Borland Survivors Trust, Christopher F. Hatterman, Scott P. Cartwright, and Terrence L. Mears.
I hereby direct a copy of this affidavit to be filed as part of the record of these proceedings. The committee has conducted an on-site inspection of this property. The committee will now hear the application for 5M Storage LLC. Will the applicant or their agent please come forward to be sworn in?
Oh, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. Have a seat, state your name and address, and tell us what you're applying for here.
My name is Mike Johnson. I live at 2535 Bowen Street in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I am applying to move a cabin, a small cabin. It's on skids. It's 12 by 24 to the back of the property. Another man. It won't have plumbing. It won't have electric. It's just going to basically used 2 times a year, mostly for year hunting.
Just wanted in a different spot.
Well, I was building it over the last few years to actually move it up north, and then in the summer I decided to keep it here. So I just want to move it away from all the buildings. People.
Yeah.
So you said there's not gonna be any plumbing in the structure. Are you gonna have a porta potty for? Okay. Perfect.
So that, will that require an agreement with you folks?
Yeah, you have a service agreement with licensed plumber. I don't know if we gave that to you yet or not.
You did, I just had it up too, so.
Okay. And then you know that you'll need to get a land use permit and a building permit then from the building permit from the local building inspector. And a use permit from our office.
Land use.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Right, this is a conditional. use
Okay,
permit,
all
so
right.
it's the placement of the structure on it requires that.
Okay,
But we'll help you out with that. I just want to make sure you're aware of it.
Any other questions from the?
I just have a curiosity question, because, you know, time goes on, you change your mind. So if for some reason this gentleman want to put water there, or run water from someplace, you'd have to come into just to you to get it, the permit, or?
Depends on the type of system. If it's a conventional system, we handle those applications through our office. If it's a mound or an acrid or pressurized system, it has to go through the state and then through our office. It's doable.
Just so everybody understands.
Yep. Is there a well on the property or?
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, dairy farm.
We know the farm.
Yeah, we don't. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you. I'll call for more testimony. Stick around a little bit in case something comes up. Any further testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony in opposition? Any testimony in opposition? Any testimony? Are there any letters?
Yes, I have the town recommendation form for the Michael Johnson property, parcel number 0111-41-4, with the zoning district of agriculture retention. States what are the existing uses of adjacent lands to this parcel and are they compatible? It indicates that they are consistent. Is the proposal consistent with the town vision statement as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. Is the proposal consistent with the town goals, objectives, and development strategies as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. In accordance with Wisconsin statutes 91.48, except as provided in sections 84.01, parent 34, a farmland preservation zoning ordinance does not comply with sections 91.42. If the farmland preservation zoning ordinance allows as a conditional use in a farmland preservation zoning district, a land use other than the following land uses, parent D, non-farm use is checked as yes. Town Plan Commission recommended approval signed by Daniel Hanson, July 14, 2025. Town Board also recommended approval signed by Douglas Banky and Teresa Huss on that same date, July 14, 2025.
Thank you. Says planning and zoning office have a recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Given the township's position on this, we're recommending approval with the conditions that they obtain a land use permit from our office, a building permit from the local building inspector, and that there be a county approved sanitary system certified.
Okay. So applicant knows about the conditions and on the same page.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Not, we'd be in order to have a motion on this conditional use permit.
I'll make them.
Attorney moves to approve.
I think Dennis was first.
Oh, Dennis, there we go, I'll second. Or you second.
Moved by Supervisor Wingelski, seconded by Supervisor Hardy to approve this conditional use permit. Roll call vote, Erdl.
Yes.
Sedowitz.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes,
Wingelski.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes, motion carries. Is there a motion to close the
Motion to close.
hearing? For a second.
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 Yeah.
Moved by Supervisor Erdl, seconded by Supervisor Hardy. I'll get you next time. All in favor, signify by saying
Aye.
aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah. With that, we will call this fourth public hearing to order. The purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the application for George Cedar III / Goose Resort LLC located in the northwest quarter of section 31, located at the corner of Booth Road and Deer Haven Drive, fire number E7304, out of Muckwa, County, Wisconsin, parcel 15-31-54. For a conditional use permit, single family residence accessory to a principal commercial use in the rural commercial neighborhood. D-N district on approximately 3.9 acres. Will the secretary now read the names of the people eligible for this?
Cody Simonis, Town Chair, Jeanette Zielinski, Town Clerk, Lee Shaw, Town Supervisor, Matthew Mansky, Town Supervisor, Department of Natural Resources, Susan Vanden Langenberg, Department of Natural Resources, Sarah Fajko, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Kyle Zabung, Wapaka County Corporation Council, Department of Safety and Professional Services, Commercial Building Inspector Brian No, Wapaka County Public Health, Jed Wolt, George Cedar III Youth Resort LLC owner, George Cedar applicant, James A. Turnbull Revocable Trust, Tigerton Lumber Company, Anthony R. and Michelle L. Kelly, Eugene R. and Carolyn L. Gedimer, Francis M. and Don N. Minical, Jean A. Gooth, George R. Cedar III, Jeremiah Klug, Keith Cook, and Matthew T. and Elizabeth R. Menzel.
I hereby direct a copy of this affidavit to be filed as part of the record of these proceedings. The committee has conducted an on-site inspection of this property. Committee will now hear the application for George Cedar III / Goose Resort LLC. Will the applicant or their agent please come forward this morning?
For the testimony about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. Have a seat and state your name and address for the record and tell us what the application is about.
My name is George Cedar. My address is E7303 Booth Road. And I have a bar there. The bar's been there for like 1944 and it burnt down in March. And it was a single level bar. And now that I have the opportunity to rebuild it, I'd like to put a second story on it to put like a little living space up there for me. I have 2 houses there on the property now, which I'd like to Airbnb out. At that time I could live up there and I don't need to have a big house. That's what I'm doing. Okay. I'm a bricklayer by trade, so I'd be doing it mostly myself and be out of brick and block. That's what my plan is.
So you live in the brick house on the corner now?
Yeah.
Right there. Okay. So it's is it it's a seasonal campground or anything there year round?
I probably didn't do there year round either.
No. I think it is, just driving through there, it was so quiet. And it's kind of nice, I think, when the owner is right there in the middle of it and
The glass bowl, I'm like in a fishbowl.
Mhm. Well, I think it's maybe a little behavior on the campers possibly too. I've seen some campgrounds that are kind of a party place. So
It's pretty quiet.
So it's going to be the bar and restaurant on ground level,
Yeah.
and then living quarters above.
I'm gonna try to incorporate a deck up there, just, like an outdoor deck, like a second story deck up on top too. I gotta get an architect first, so I gotta get approval for the second floor before I can start to draw that.
Okay, so
That's what I.
Yep, we'll work with them on that.
yeah, okay.
Kind of like when you go up to Minocqua, you see that bar on the corner there, right there, they got the bar top over there, over in the lake right there. I'm sure you know about it.
Yeah.
Somewhat like that.
Just 2 questions. First of all, I didn't know it burned down.
Yeah, it burned down March 24th. I went down to turn everything on. It was closed for the winter. And then I went down to I got some of the pipeline guys that were working in there. So they came in there early in March and I turned the water on and just turned all the power on and turned everything on. I went home about 8:30 and Gene called me at 10 and said that the roof was on fire. So we figured it started right there on electrical thing.
My second part of the question, you talked about B&B, and I was just reading the Wisconsin Towns Association magazine we just got, and they were talking about B&Bs and stuff like that, collecting the sales tax and everything like that. You got it.
Yeah, there's fees that go with that,
Yeah.
and the county has to go through all that. I own a couple of them already. You have to go through a lot of stuff to get that done.
That was interesting reading.
Any other questions?
Where you've got the footings in there, that's where it's.
Yeah, but it's going to be the same footprint of the bar. I'm not gonna go any bigger than it was before. I will build like separate bathrooms and shower houses. They won't be part of the bar. They'll be more over where the playground was, but right next to the bar. But the bar itself might even be smaller than the footprint of it was before. I'm not gonna build a big, huge bar. I'm gonna build a smaller one. I think that's a better way to go instead of building that. It's just a seasonal bar. And believe it or not, you guys don't know, but it really matters about the weather. So if it rains all weekend long, really nobody comes. You know what I mean? The boating traffic isn't there, or the campers either. So I'm not gonna go real crazy on building a big huge restaurant.
But I will say it's a nice stop. I do some boating on
Yeah.
Wolf River, and it's a nice stop up there. So
Yeah.
kind of missed that when I was up there earlier this year. I'm surprised to see it down. It's like,
I've been wanting to redo it for a long time, you know, just because I'm a builder by trade, but it's so old and people like it. They just made it feel like it was so old, and it just kind of kept it that way that I didn't really want to go change.
Right.
But now that now that this happened, now I have to make it. I have to do it. But I'm
It
still going
was
to
a
keep it
cool
small. And I got all the animals, believe it or not.
Oh.
The fire started in the back, far left over the bathrooms, and made it all the way to about the front, and then the firemen they stopped it all, and I actually saved almost all the
all those
animals in
mollusks.
there.
Yeah.
They're still there.
Paul Davis inside Paul Davis's restoration. I guess they put them in a big room with a big ozone thing, you know what I mean? It's like ozone them all up, and then after that, then they just package them away in there. Paul Davis is doing really.
Clean the smoke.
Especially with sea logs.
Well, it's hard to get eagles and badgers and all that, you know, all that albino stuff. You can't even have that stuff anymore. But that's my plan. So it'll be a lot nicer when I'm done, believe it or not. It will be.
Any other questions? Thank you. You want to just stick around for a while? We'll call for more testimony. Any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, testimony in favor of the application. Any testimony in opposition to the application? Any testimony in opposition to the application? Third call, any testimony in opposition? Any testimony? Are there any letters?
Yes, I have the town recommendation form for the George Cedar property identified by parcel number 153154-1 with the zoning district of rural commercial neighborhood. States, is the proposal consistent with the town vision statement as found in the town comprehensive plan? Is checked as no. Town Plan Commission recommended approval, signed by Lee Shaw, June 25th, 2025. And then Town Board also recommended approval, signed by Cody Simonis and Jeanette Zelinsky, July 8th, 2025. And then I also have an email from the DNR, Susan Vanden Landenberg, that says, thank you for the additional information. Please let the committee know that no DNR letter will be sent.
Thank you. Does planning and zoning office have a recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we are recommending approval with the conditions that they obtain a land use permit, building permit, and also county approved sanitary system, which I believe he's already working on all of those.
Everybody's on the same page and we're good to go. Any other questions? Well, that would be in order to have a motion on this conditional use permit.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Wingelski to approve the conditional use permit. Roll call vote. Ertl.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Hardy.
Yes.
Wingelski.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Hardy, seconded by Supervisor Wingelski to close the hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
We'll see you soon. Yeah.
With that, we'll call this fifth public hearing to order. The purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the application for Trevor's Estate and Ashland Peters, located in the northeast quarter of southwest quarter of Section 7, lying along Shadow Road, fire number N1892, Town of Lynn, Sac County, Wisconsin, parcel 12-07-71-46. A conditional use permit dwelling less than 22 feet in width in the residential RR district on approximately 3.03 acres. So Secretary, now please read the names of the persons notified of this hearing.
Kathy Nichol, Town Chair, Colleen McCoy, Town Clerk, Tim Stearns, Town Supervisor, Cindy Hardy, Town Supervisor, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Kyle Zabung, Wapaka County Corporation Council, Trevor Kazuski and Ashlyn Peters, owners, Trevor Kazuski, applicant, Benjamin J. and Jesse S. Lenoble, Cheryl J. Markward, Danny A. and Pamela S. Weddig, Drew Dietman, George P. and Jennifer L. Drevis, Heather M. Collins, James M. and Cynthia R. Brandt, Jamie L. and Julie A. Goose, Jeffrey L. Larson, Jeffrey and Teresa Zempel, Julie A. Rudinger, Monty L. Paul, Robert Bretwish, Thomas P. D'Amico, and William J. Markle.
Hereby direct a copy of this affidavit to be filed as part of the record of these proceedings. The committee has conducted an on-site inspection of this property. The committee will now hear the application for Trevor Zawisky and Ashlyn Peters. Will the applicant or their agent please come forward to be sworn?
Well, please raise your right hand. You swear. Please take your cap off. Yeah. Thank you. You swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes. Thank you. Have a seat, state your name and address, and tell us about the application.
Name is Trevor Kijewski, W17022 2 Mile Road, Tigerton, Wisconsin. I planned on putting a new trailer house on the existing one because that's unlivable. Floor shot, there's mold inside the wall, and that was like the plan to get it going before school started. Now that's not really gonna happen, so I'd still like to keep this open as an option, and I might go a different route, building maybe going through manufactured home or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Get done a little faster.
So if you go manufactured, would it be like a double wide or?
Yeah.
Okay. So will this be redundant or will he have to start over again if he goes?
If it goes to a double wide, we can just issue that over the counter.
That's all just over the counter. Okay.
One point of note, you'll notice the plat of survey that's up on there, Mr. Kashesky, am I pronouncing that right?
Kijewski.
Okay, thank you. They combined the lots together for it. So previously that mobile home was very close to the lot line, so they were stuck within the building envelope, the three-dimensional building envelope, but with combining them, they have a lot more room. So I think today you're looking for the approval for the dwelling less than 22 feet in width. If that happens. If not, we can permit you for the one that's greater.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
So did he purchase the other lot, or was that all part of it, or?
It was all in one. It was just two separate parcels,
Okay,
but
Has
it
it
wasn't.
so is it combined? Has it been combined? I mean, everything's,
Yep, legally combined. Yep, they went through the process. The plat of survey provided us an outer boundary description that they recorded on the deed. Once they do that, we consider it to be combined.
all right, perfect, because I'm looking at the driveway, how it comes in.
Yeah.
It's not even on,
No.
According to the map we were getting, so
Right. And
to
yeah,
see that, yeah,
when it was originally developed, I think there was less concern about internal lot lines for it. But, we worry about them now because they're separately conveyable, and if they sell it later, it's combined now, so they have to be sold together.
okay, perfect.
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
So we're looking at about 6 acres now then?
No, I think it's 3.1 or something.
Okay, so it was 1 point before.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, it's about 3 acres.
Okay. Any other questions?
I can't remember. Is there a well septic?
Well, septic
That
and
works.
yes,
Septic works.
yes. And it's gonna be getting pumped out end of August too. So
So we require a system evaluation by a licensed individual.
Okay,
Apply for
just curious.
Yep.
Okay, if there's no other questions, then I'll call for more testimony. Please hang around a little while in case something comes up. Any further testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Third call, any testimony in opposition? Any testimony? Are there any letters?
Yes, I have the town recommendation form for the Trevor Kashesky property with the current zoning district of rural residential. States, is the proposal consistent with the town vision statement as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. Is the proposal consistent with the town goals, objectives, and development strategies as found in the town comprehensive plan? Also checked as yes. Town Planning Commission recommended approval signed by Art Richardson on June 9th, 2025. Town Board also recommended approval on that same day, signed by Kathy Nicole and Colleen McCoy.
Thank you. Does planning and zoning office have a recommendation?
We do, Mr. Chairman, in light of the township's position on it, we're recommending approval, provided they obtain a land use permit, a building permit, and a county approved sanitary system.
Okay. So you got that with the permits?
I gotta get that stuff. Yeah.
Yep, okay, but you know what you need. Sure, okay. Any other questions? Okay, if there's no other questions, we'd be in order to have a motion on this conditional use permit.
Hardy moves to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Hardy, seconded by Supervisor Wingelski to approve the conditional use permit. Roll call vote. Turtle.
Yes.
Sedowitz.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Wingelski.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion to close the
Motion to close.
hearing?
Second.
Moved by Supervisor Hurdle, seconded by Supervisor Hardy to close the hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Okay, with that, we'll call this sixth public hearing to order. Purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the application for Aaron R. Nunez et al. Located in the southeast quarter and northeast quarter of Section 1, lying along County Road 8, fire number N2396, Town of Dayton, Packet County, Wisconsin, part of 03-01-14-1, for a petition for a zone map amendment from the agriculture and woodland transition EWT district to the rural residential RR district on approximately 1 or 0.851 acres to accommodate a proposed boundary line adjustment. Will the secretary now please read the names of those people?
Jeff Barlow, Town Chair, Brett Grams, Town Supervisor, Susan Popham, Town Supervisor, Wanda Hilton, Town Clerk, John Miller, District Supervisor, Wapaka County Highway Department, Casey Beiersdorf, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Kyle Zabon, Wapaka County Corporation Council, Aaron R. Nemeth et al., owner, Nancy Nemeth, applicant, Aaron Nemeth, agent, Benny A. and Jeanette M. Batten, Revocable Trust, David A. Lundy, Family Revocable Trust, Montague Taylor Trust, Armand J. and Monique M. Duell, Brian E. Lundy, David P. Peschel, Hilarion Ochoa and Gabriela Ochoa, Jacob Pinch and Hannah Pinch, James W. Trantow, James W. and Inez Trantow, John A. Widow, John M. and Jan L. DeVos, Kevin M. and Michelle L. Lundy, Mark R. and Nancy A. Nemeth, Mick J. and Sherry L. Foster, Patricia A. and Joseph J. Wallowich, Patrick J. and Ashley K. Martin, Partnership Trantow Revocable Trust, Richard R. Nemeth et al., Roger A. and Sheila L. Nelson, Stephen E. and Carol Johnson, Van T. 9, Whitney Golding, and William C. and Jane A. Rodney.
I hereby direct a copy of this affidavit to be filed as part of the record of these proceedings. The committee has conducted on the property. Committee will now hear the review of Aaron R. Nemeth et al. Will the applicant or the agent please come forward and be sworn in?
Thank you. Please raise your right hand. You swear a testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. Have a seat. State your name and address for the record and tell us what the application is about.
Name Aaron Nemeth, address N2396 County Road K, right there on the map. The application is, so this is all family property. And basically we're taking the two lots that you see outlined in yellow. The one in red needed to be bigger. Basically it's been grandfathered so many times. The sanitary isn't on that lot, the well and all that stuff. And basically what they want to do is we want to add on to that property outlined in red. They want to add on to the dwelling, couple room addition. Didn't have the room based on that outline, so we're kind of adjusting and making it cohesive with what you guys want, really.
So
and needed to happen anyway.
It's the lower lot
Yeah,
And, how many, what, was that even an acre on that
I,
original one?
no, I have no idea. That was
Yeah.
done in the fifties,
Yeah.
sixties
I
maybe.
I was looking at this width, it looks like 80 feet.
Yeah, it's been a part of the family forever. Yeah, I don't know how they got that lot that small. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, they did a new septic for, I don't know, probably like 8 years ago now, 10 years ago already, and it was like not even close to being on the lot or anything, because we're out for like, and didn't have room.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're just adjusting based on the fact we want to add on to that dwelling and
Do you own all the land that's in that spot?
technically my aunt owned that, so I've had aunts and uncles, different aunts and uncles have owned it over time. So,
okay, yeah. So it's just checking, what's the lot size gonna be with all the combinations?
So the way that's an important clarification point that we should probably talk about on this. Since it is a substandard lot, we allow them to get larger even if they don't meet the minimum lot size, because they're trending towards compliance. So
Yep.
the way we measure lot size, is count the right away. So the actual lot size is 0.863 acres, but they're allowed to do that because they're trending towards compliance.
Sure. Well, given that neighborhood has a lot of homes out in that neighborhood too. Yeah. Okay, any other questions from the committee? Thank you.
Does your family then own the whole rest of that area too? Is that why you're,
Yep. Yeah.
why you can incorporate it in?
So yeah, well, me and Nancy, the one that owns the south lot, together own also the rest of the other, together own the rest of the 80 acres that's there. And then my dad actually owns the other stuff on the other side, across K.
Okay, now I'm just looking at this driveway that comes in right up by the house and it goes across the lot line in the back to another shed. So is that any, I realize it's all family, but
Right, no, I understand your question, like as far as, legally and stuff like that, I guess that's on you, is that illegal, are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, it is. Yep, absolutely. So the parcel itself has frontage in other places for it. So the potential for separate access if things should go upside down, you have to touch base with the highway department to see what they would allow for it. But there's nothing that says you can't do that.
Good.
And time to address things is when everybody's getting along. So
Right,
it sounds
yep.
like everybody's getting along.
Yep, no, and that's, it's been that way for a while.
Okay.
Hasn't really been an issue, so.
well, any other questions? Okay, thank you. Just stick around for a minute. Call for more testimony. Any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Third call, any testimony in opposition? Any testimony? Are there any letters?
Yes, I have the town recommendation form for this property identified as parcel number 0301-14-1 with a current zoning district of agriculture and woodland transition and a proposed zoning district of rural residential. It states, what will the proposed use of the parcel be if the rezoning is approved? Indicates a portion of 0301-14-1 to be combined with parcel 01 or 0301-14-2 via CSM to expand lot size for building addition / new construction within parcel 0301-14-2 as current lot size is small. What are the existing uses of adjacent lands to this parcel and are they compatible? Current zoning of 0301-14-2 is rural residential, so addition of portion of 0301-14-1 is to match current RR zoning. Is the proposal consistent with the preferred land use map as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. And then states amendment request is for matching current zoning of parcel 0301-14-2 to be expanded. No new zoning district is being created that does not already exist. Is the proposal consistent with the town goals, objectives, and development strategies as found in the town comprehensive plan? It is checked as yes. And states amendment request is for matching current zoning of the parcel 0301-14-2 to be expanded. No new zoning district is being created that does not already exist. Town Planning Commission recommended approval, signed by Susan Popham on June 10th, 2025. Town Board also recommended approval, signed by Jeffrey Barlow and Wanda Hilton, both on June 17th, 2025.
Thank you. Does the Planning and Zoning Office have a recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Given the township's position and the preferred land use map, the comprehensive plan identifying this area as residential, we are recommending approval.
Any other, yeah, go for
I
it.
do have a question, because we talked about that, driveway into that bigger parcel with that building. Are setbacks off that building? I mean, like you said, if something goes upside down.
Yeah.
Are those setbacks to that building, is that gonna be okay?
15 feet, yep,
Okay.
yep, and that's, I'm
Just,
trying to think off the top, because I do the survey reviews on them too, but
just not
sometimes I
that-
compartmentalize things in my head. And I believe, yep, so it's 19.2, I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit more there, Ryan. So on the top side, you can see that 19.2, it's very hard to see.
Yep.
And then on the
19.2.
west side, it's 23.8.
Yep.
So they have more than the 15 feet. It's an excellent question. Yep. Yep.
Just a.
Those are the types of things that can go upside down with the land divisions for 100%. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, good catch. Any other questions? Now, we're in order to have a motion on this zone map amendment.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you for a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Wingelski. To approve the zone map amendment, roll call vote. Ertl.
Yes.
Surratt.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Wingelski.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Hart. To close the hearing, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
With that, we'll have the seventh and last public hearing. Order purpose of this hearing is to take testimony regarding the conditional use permit. It's a review for Carlo I Lance located in the southwest quarter of section 22, lying along State Road 49, fire number 5778, County County Name, Paca County, Wisconsin, parcel number 17-23-33-1, for a review of a conditional use permit commercial animal facility, CP-011-2024, in the agriculture enterprise district on approximately 20 acres. Will the secretary now please read the names of the persons notified of this?
Gary Rivers, Town Chair, Brenda Mazemke, Town Clerk, Frank Bauer, Town Supervisor, Brian Foos, Town Supervisor, Department of Natural Resources, Susan Vanden Langenberg, Wisconsin Department of Transportation, Kelly Nicholas and David Muret, Department of Safety and Professional Services, Commercial Building Inspector Brian No, Bonnie Tim, applicant, Cargo Lance owner, Ken Van Dyke, Wapaka County Corporation Council, Barbara J. Van Dyke Trust, Hanson Family of Scandinavia Holdings LLC, MJK Income Trust, Brandon Forsyth, Carl E. Lance, Carlo I. Lance, Jason A. Cross and Vicky Vaughn, and Richard L. and M. Tracy M. Kate Hanson.
Hereby direct a copy of this affidavit to be filed as part of the records of these proceedings. The committee has not conducted an on-site inspection of this property, as it is a review. The committee will now hear the review for Carlo I. Lance. Becca Fields, Land Use Enforcement Specialist, will present the review.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Okay, so this one hopefully won't be too difficult because the business has not started on the property. So this was approved back in last June. Quite a few conditions that were placed on that approval. There's 11 of them all in total. But as of right now, there are no dogs or any building that's taken place on there for the breeding facility, the small commercial animal facility there. So my original recommendation after talking with the township, I talked to the town chair. They hadn't received any kind of complaints. He hadn't been on site at all since the original approval with the township And so he had other concerns with different things out there, but as far as the business goes, I had completed an on-site and verified that nothing had been started there. We didn't obviously have any kind of permits that were issued for anything. We actually just got Bonnie to sign the decision sheet yesterday, and hopefully Carlo can today while he's there with you guys, so that we can actually look at possibly getting ready to issue that conditional use permit once everything else is met. But so my recommendation was to actually rescind the conditional use permit because we had like I said, no permits were pulled. We had no correspondence with the property owner or with Bonnie Tim as far as what was actually going on with the property. And so that was my recommendation until Bonnie reached out to us this week. I did actually get something in writing from her today via email asking the committee to do an extension on the conditional use. The way our ordinance is set up, they're required to pull permits within the 12 months of getting the approval to be able to establish that use on the property. And then if that doesn't happen, they either have to request that extension or the conditional use becomes void at that point. So her request to us was to do a 1-year extension on that so that they could hopefully move forward with the building for the commercial animal facility out there.
So they're asking for 12-month extension, correct?
Correct. And I more or less advised her that it would require at least that the permits would be pulled for the building itself, which, our land use permits are valid for 2 years. So it would give her time to construct that. I told her it wasn't going to require that the building has to be built within that 12-month extension, but that at least all the permits would have to be pulled.
Okay. I feel like jumping ahead and asking if there's some letters or asking for the planning and zoning office recommendation. Just to help guide the discussion a little bit here.
And I think the recommendation has changed in the last 24 hours because we've got in contact with them.
Yeah.
Originally, we were looking at rescinding because we hadn't heard anything, and once that year passes, it's hard to keep an open ending.
Right.
But since they've reached out and we're happy to work with people for it, I'd be interested to know what the town chairman has to say about that, if that's agreeable with them as well. And again, this is kind of quickly developing information on it for us. So understanding that Gary hasn't had an opportunity to hear that until now either. So I don't want to put you on the spot either, but might be a good idea.
Well, if it's okay with Rebecca, I think we'll jump ahead and ask for testimony then. She's not. Okay, good, okay. Any further testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in favor of this application? Third call, any testimony in favor of this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony in opposition to this application? Third call, any testimony in opposition to this application? Any testimony? Okay, and now the letters, other new letters.
The only one that I have is the email from Susan Vanden Langenberg with the DNR that says, thank you for the additional information. Please let the committee know that no DNR letter will be sent.
Okay.
Do you know why the thing has occurred?
I was just going to say, would you like me to read her email from you guys?
Yep,
Please.
thank you, please.
Perfect. Okay, so it says, I am writing you this morning as I will be unable to attend the review meeting regarding the conditional use. Carlo Lance will be in attendance and can answer any questions that the board may have. I could also be available phone if needed. I'm hoping the board will be willing to grant an extension on the conditional use for Bonnie's Little Fluffies kennel building. I was unable to start the process this past year as originally planned due to funding. However, I have a property in Wapaka that will be going on the market in the next month. This property has substantial equity in it, thus will give me the means to move forward. I understand that there is only one potential extension on this conditional use, so if it pleases the board to do so at this time, I would appreciate it, hoping to bring it back for review in the 1 year.
Okay.
So I guess in light of that, and we always try to work with people and try to give them the opportunity to succeed for us, I guess. And Becky, do you have anything different in terms of that 1 year extension?
No, no, biggest thing, obviously, I want to make sure that they understand, and which they'll get decision sheets from us again, that, you know, after that 1 year extension, if we don't have those permits, we'd be looking at rescinding that conditional use at that point.
Okay,
So the permits we're gonna look at again, 1 year permits we pulled, and they've got 2 years after that to.
to get it done.
Right.
Mhm.
Correct.
Okay. Good with that?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Then, we'd be in order to have a motion on this review of this conditional use permit.
I'll make a.
I would have a comment.
Yes, please. Yeah, I guess so. Please raise your right hand. Swear testimony about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat, Gary. State your name and address.
Tom Chairman, Scandinavia, 1144 County Road V. There's some other things tied to this parcel, and I just want to make sure that will get addressed at some point. There's a conditional use permit for
The recreational.
the recreational vehicles and things, and my belief is nothing's been done here either, so. You know, these, while I realize these are kind of independent, I view them as kind of tied together. So.
And Becky, correct me if I'm wrong, we're looking at September for the recreational vehicle one?
Correct. Yep. Until I got on site this week, or last week, whenever staff reports were due, I was unaware that the campers were still there. I was told that they had been removed. So at that point, we were assuming that everything was kosher until I got there, and there are still 2 of them on site, unfortunately.
Who
So
told
that
you they
will-
were removed? I'm curious.
Carlo.
Okay.
Yep. So that'll definitely be part of the review for that. Like I said, it's a separate conditional use. So at least that we can kind of address those items separately. But yeah, they'll be going for review next month.
Okay, so it doesn't affect this one at all. Okay, thank you. So.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so. We're back to calling for a motion on this conditional use permit extension.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Hardy, seconded by Supervisor Ertl to approve the review of this conditional use permit with a 12-month extension. Roll call vote. Ertl.
Yes.
Fedorowicz.
Yes.
Hardy.
Yes.
Wingalski.
Yes.
Nygaard, yes. Motion carries. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close.
Is there a second?
Second. Sorry.
Moved by Supervisor Ertl, seconded by Supervisor Hardy to close the hearing. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Those opposed, motion carries.
do, and I know we just approved the extension, but on a conditional use permit, you can only ask for 1 extension
That's right.
on this review. So if this comes up next year with no movement on it, it just automatically
Just goes away.
Yeah, the ordinance only allows the 1 extension.
Okay, well, made it through the hearing, so now we got a little memo from Diane here about meeting guidelines. So do you wanna read through this right now or just read through it on your own?
I just should read through it on my own first.
Sure.
Come up with questions.
Sure.
Yeah, I read through it too already. We were given it early enough. It's pretty straightforward, self-explanatory.
Sure.
What any committee can or can't do.
Right.
This isn't just for us, it's basically
Everybody.
any committee.
Yep.
You know, if you have
Mhm.
to get away from a standing committee or what have you. So, yeah, because I did have a few questions on what we could or couldn't,
Yeah.
you know, related to this digester. We gotta go take a look at some of them, how we can do that. And so this answers quite a few of the questions I had. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you did this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we're on to budget, I guess.
Okay.
I'm saying I guess, for sure.
Okay, so the budget. So the first page here. This is the summary page. You'll see some of the things that we're looking at changing or updating. Overall, we're looking at an 8% increase in what we have estimated for revenue. When we look at overall expenditures, it's a bit of a mixed. We have some that are going down 15%, there are some that are going up. And so all told, it's actually, let's make sure I got this right. It looks like in the end, it's a 0%. Well, statistically, I guess it's a 0%, but there's a bit of a slight increase in the expenditures as well. So, but that's just a very general overview. The next page is when we get into more of the nitty-gritty or the detail here. So the first one here, this is the private sewage grant, which is refers to as the Wisconsin Fund. So every year we put in that $15,000 as that's our budgeted amount. And so the way that works is any amount that gets utilized for Wisconsin Fund automatically gets put in as revenue / expenditure. They even themselves out. So it's budget neutral. The other part about the Wisconsin Fund is that really it hasn't been utilized in Waupaca County for some years. So it's been looked at the legislature to sunset Wisconsin Fund. And from what I'm understanding is they're finally now going to be actually doing it. So it is going to slowly be phasing out, which I also serve as the vice chair of Essential Housing Region. So part of that with the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant, that's where if anybody's looking to get a septic replaced, they're utilizing that instead. So that's where we're receiving people are still being able to get their septics replaced that way. The next line down, that's our building permits. And you'll see that this has been slowly ratcheting up, which makes sense because every year we're adding more towns. And so what we're seeing right now, the 6 month on that shows about 6,100. And I can tell you that we had a banner month this past month. We had the most that we've ever had, which was just over $3,000. It was $3,200, I think it was. So we're looking at coming in the building permits roughly around 15,000. And my guess is that we're going to be coming in around 16 next year. I think that's a conservative amount, but I think that we're going to be able to easily hit that 16,000 for revenue.
Is Rodney still here or is it somebody
No,
else? Somebody else?
Ronnie has now been replaced. So now we have, we have a different gentleman that has brought in from GEC.
Okay.
So that does represent, you'll see it being a 33% increase in the revenue, but it really only in the end, it's just $4,000. So it doesn't amount to a whole lot, but still it is an increase that we should be realizing here when it comes to increased revenue. Sanitary permits, this is a tricky one. And so when I look at the 5-year study on the sanitary permits, it's really very interesting how, and it's too bad that this only goes back to the actual amounts only goes back to 2024 on this, because you'll see that I've kept it right at that $50,000 mark, but there's in 2023 I had that down to 45,000, figuring that we were going to have a low water mark.
And in reality, we had the highest amount that we've ever received, which was actually $71,000. So then the next year I bumped it up to $50,000, and then it dropped down to $51,000 in revenue. And what was interesting about that was that conversely, the land use was a high water mark that we had at $139,000, which was so we try to, I at least when I try to figure out where you're reading the tea leaves on these things, typically with land use permits follows, if you have a high amount of land use permits, we have a high amount of sanitary permits, but it's not necessarily all the cases. A lot of it depends on what type of work is being done. And so land use permits for additions may not include sanitary permits. And so that's what ended up actually happening, was we saw more of that. And so looking at the 5-year model and looking at the direction it's going, I think 55,000 when it comes to sanitary permits in terms of next year's revenue, I think we're at the point now where 55 makes a lot more sense for us in terms of being conservative. Zoning ordinance, I mentioned this just a little bit here at the 139 in 2024, 25. Right now, the actual on that is 62.9, so roughly 63. I can tell you that we're already at this, I think it's at 72 or 73,000 right now. Because the 6-month actual, that was at the beginning of June. So that's June 1. So we have another month under our belt, well, actually 2 months under our belts already. So that number is much higher as it stands right now. And so we're going to be bringing in 130 is what I'm estimating. And so I'm saying that next year we're going to have 135, which is the same as what we've had in 2025. Mitigation. So Dan McFarland no longer works for Wapaka County or Land and Water Department. And so right now we're doing all the mitigation permits on our own, which means that we're also receiving all of the revenue associated with mitigation permits. So you'll see that there has been an increase in our revenue from that. You'll see that right now we're estimated to come in at 7,000. And I can tell you that the reason for that, again, is because we have 2 months added on to that 2,150 that we have that actual amount. So 7,000 is really more like the mark we're going to hit. And I can see next year being slightly higher than that. So I have it marked as being $8,000, which was, again, a 300% increase, but in the end, it's just $6,000 of actual revenue. Maintenance fee, the sanitation, that's a fixed amount. It's at 65,000. You'll see that it does vacillate a little bit. We have 65.5 in 2024. But if you were to go back in time, that you'll see that it's within $500 of $65,000. And so and that's not by surprise. So we took our 14,000 septic systems and divided that by 3, and we have it set up, so it should all be fairly close year over year, but there's slight variations, but 65,000 is really right at that mark. And so the next one down from that is violations, and we always have that budgeted at 0. That's one of those things where we try to have that be something that is phased out, because the idea being that as the more we do this, then there really should be no use or need for these violation fees. If that's what we're talking about with those, that's that $35 late fee that we have. So that's kind of like the intermediary between going to a citation. So, and that's what that dollar amount is. And so you'll see in 2024, we had 12,450. As of right now, we have 665. That number is higher now, but the good news on that is that the number is actually going down. For this year, it's going down. So what that's saying is that as this is going on, less and less people are finding themselves in arrears when it comes to the maintenance program. And then the other thing that we have for revenue, the rental income. So those broadband towers, that's that lease agreement that we have with Wapaka Online. So they pay us, and they pay us a fixed amount. And so that's just a year over year, kept at the same. And I believe, we have a donation on there that we had received that's related to green waste. That's something that Heidi gets us, that we're a line item for that. We had received some monies for that, but besides that, we don't foresee any additional donations. So in the end, all told, it represents a $15,000 increase in revenue or a 5% increase. Is there any questions on the revenue side before I move on to the expenditure side? Okay, so on the expenditure side, so the first thing we have here is personal service. The one thing I'm just gonna call out is just a more of an oddity more than anything else is that we've had quite a few changes in the office when it comes to staffing, with some staff leaving, new staff coming on, and we would make the assumption, and also with the associated or the estimated increase in personal service year over year. But what's interesting is that typically the largest increase that we see in expenses is based on personal service because of this, the typical increases in costs associated with that. And for some reason, between 26 and 25, it went up $97. It was one of those things I had to do a double take on that. It was just hard to believe that that was the only difference, and it actually went down $97. So I don't think that's never happened to me before in doing these budgets. So contracted service, there's contract we haven't utilized it's a bit of a trick for us. We're keeping this in here because we don't really know when we might need the contracted service, but we still have that in there. But just so you're aware, when it comes to the way I'm thinking about this, is that I feel like in time we're going to be phasing that out. But I'm keeping it in there for just 1 year. It's $1,000, but still, it's just so you're aware my thought process on that.
Question.
Yeah.
So the mitigation that you're doing all in department now,
Mm-hmm.
and not with a shared staff with land and water, you don't have to contract any of that out, you can handle it then?
Well, that's a good question because some of that will have to be. And that's something that we're looking at right now is whether or not we want to take a look at those fees associated with that. So our ordinance says that we have the ability to design that, but it also says that it may need to go to an engineer to have that be designed. And so if we do get to the position where we need to have an engineer to take a look at it, then there might be some dollars that we might need to have associated with that to have that evaluation done. So what we're looking at is some of the fees associated with mitigation might be able to go down because there's less scrutiny associated with them, whereas some we might need to keep somewhat higher because there's a potential that we might need to have an engineer involved with it. And so that's something that we're looking at right now to see whether or not we need to make those adjustments. It's always a trick with us when it comes to mitigation because those permits, unlike any other permit that we have in our office, are in perpetuity. So 50 years from now, those mitigation permits are still active. And so the money that we're making now has to somehow be able to fund whatever resource is necessary throughout time. So it's this hard thing, but yet you can't charge somebody up front something exorbitant because in 50 years someone else might need it work. So it's an interesting game.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cellular phone. Oh yeah.
Just going back to personal services, decrease in health insurance. Why is that? I mean, because you still got the same amount of people. Why such a?
Someone decided not to take the insurance.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was wondering, is it a age adjusted premium too? And now we got average younger. On the average, our staff is younger than what they were.
Yeah.
A while back.
Yep. Yeah, and it's more so about someone just didn't take the county insurance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's one of those where personally, like we've been, it's not something that we can, when you're talking with employees, because they have the ability to take insurance or not. And so we don't want to, be like, well, we can save money if you don't take it. It's their right to take the insurance.
We got a budget for everybody taking it.
Exactly. You have to assume they're all going to take it, and if they don't, they don't. So the cellular phone, unfortunately, that's just something that slowly creeps up. And so we've been seeing that, you'll see in 26, I've added $150 to that. It's unfortunate, but that's just one of those things that it's just gonna keep climbing, it appears. Same with the telephone. We see that, well, that's the 26, we saw that going, where are we at? Yeah, I have that going down. We have so the telephone service, the cost on that has actually, so in the 25, the 6-month actual at 258, I estimated, projected it out for the rest of the year, it's actually less. So I don't know where the cost savings are, to be honest with you, on that, but for some odd reason, it's cheaper. So I took out $300 from that. This repair contract that we had, this hasn't been utilized in a few years. I just took it out. So it's $500, just take that out. Postage remains something that it's expensive, and we're keeping that at the 75. When I projected that out, it looks like we're going to meet that 75, and it appears as though year over year 75 is what makes the most sense for us. Photocopying, this is just increasing in cost. And so again, when I did the 5-year study on this, it has been creeping up. In 2024, the actual on this was 3662. And so it appears as though that the conservative way to look at this is to increase that 600 to match the actual cost. This is one of the more highlights, I guess you could, so to speak, when it comes to the next two, when it comes to the expenditures associated with our office. So office supplies, we've been running at around $3,000 a year. I'm bumping that up to $5,000 this next year because we need to replace our scanner. So the scanner, as Becky can tell you, is the lifeblood of, we scan all the time. Everything gets scanned. And so it's an incredibly important piece of machinery in our office, and ours is getting a little long in the tooth. And so it's at a point where we need to replace it. So I've been pricing them out. They're about $3,000. And so that's why you'll see that this one's a little bit higher than years past. I'm envisioning this doesn't need to be at $5,000 in the following year. This is only this much higher because we need to buy that equipment. The other thing that has gone up is our dues. We have that bumped to $2,000 for next year, which shows an increase of $1,500. The reason why is because we have a few of us that are coming due for our certifications. And so we're going to have a somewhat more abnormally expensive year next year to cover all of the costs associated with those certifications. But again, that's one of those things where once we're done with that, then it's a cycle. Is it a 3-year?
Yeah, I was trying to think of that.
In any case, every year when I get to budget season, I pull the staff, we go through, so next year I see this going back down. But just, that's one of those things that kind of goes as necessary. Everything else is being kept as with no change, status quo. The travel expense, operating supplies for the Board of Adjustment. We unfortunately need to keep that at that 5,000. That has been something that we had bumped up. And when you look at the 5-year on that, it turns out that 5,000 is what is necessary. It's very easy to blow through $5,000 when you're looking at requiring transcripts and attorneys associated with things. And then we have $500 for the Greenways to pay for our marketing. And then we have for repair, all the vehicle repair, we have $2,000 for that. But yeah, everything else is basically staying the same. Any questions on the expenditure side? So the changes we're making is we got to buy that scanner, and we have staff that need to pay for their dues, and the increased costs that we see for PhotoPack. So vehicle insurance, a bit of a bright spot. So In 25, Heidi had said her guidance to us was to say 1,700 because that's what the projection was for vehicle insurance. It has been 1179 and 25. 24 was 1259. So then I decided that it would probably make sense to shave a little bit off that, so I can have that at 1,300. And that, so in the end, we see that the amount change here is about 2953 when it comes to overall increase in expenditures. Any questions on that? And so the next one below that, that 15,000, so that's the corresponding, so that's with what I was saying before with Wisconsin Fund, so that's the corresponding, so anything that is revenue side, there's an expense that matches it, so that's a constant. The other thing is that we do have the 25,000 that we have here as showing for the outlay for the a vehicle. We have a vehicle due for replacement next year, and so that's what that $25,000 is sitting there for. All told, if you look at the numbers at the very end here, you'll see that the year over year, let's see, the net grand total, it shows us at just shy of 500,000, or essentially a 12,953 increase, and 25,000 of that is the capital outlay for the vehicle. So if you take out the 25,000 for the vehicle, it's about 13,000, or well, 12,000, I guess, decrease in the overall budget. Any questions on the planning and on our
Budgeting 25 grand for a vehicle, is that gonna be enough?
No. It always was. And so equinoxes is what we've always, we got 3 of them now. We kind of been collecting them, it seems. And the reason why we've been collecting them is they hit that sweet spot in terms of they got the right ground clearance, they got the right, they're 4-wheel drive. They got the right amount of cargo space, and they're about the cheapest vehicle that hits all those boxes too. But what we had found was that it was, in fact, they actually came in at just under $23,000. Now that same one that we just got done buying, the blue one, was at 29. Same base model, the fleet the state pricing and all that. Yeah. Yeah. So working with Heidi on that, she had said that just keep it at 25, because they that's what they have it as, and if we go to 29, it's not a problem. So that's what we have, because if I can find the Equinox for 25, that'd be fantastic. But if I'm doubting that the price of the vehicles have actually gone down.
It's gotta have tariffs on it too.
Yeah, you're adding that on, right?
Well, it's built in the States here, then we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, with all of it. So that's our budget. Any questions on?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we approve and pass it on.
Motion has been made to approve the proposed budget for 2026. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Moved by Supervisor Fedorowicz, seconded by Supervisor Wingelski to approve the proposed 2026 budget and send it on. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, so these upcoming meetings, it revolves around Wapaka Rotaries Exchange Group coming from Romania. So they requested to learn about county government. So that's why this is in an effort to accommodate them and take part of it to some degree. City of Wapaka contacted us and budget please. So anyway, made extra work for the staff here and appreciated. It's very much appreciated but anyway, so what will be on the agenda for this next meeting?
So it's Monday, the 11th, right? August 11th?
Yes, so
Yeah.
in our official time is actually 2 to 2:30, and it'll be right in this room. But there, I threw on there just in case you were interested, the Wapaka County Government Overview from 1 to 2, which will also be in this room because I believe Chair Nygaard is presenting that. So in case you wanted to come at 1 and stay until 2:30, you certainly could.
I don't know what I'm gonna talk about for that long, but
That should be right in happy hour for them.
Well, they were just looking at like an overview of zoning, what we do for that, like for a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about the Columbia County.
Yeah, Columbia
solar
County's
ordinance.
solar, so that ordinance that was given to us by them. And if time allows, I have on there to we can give some updates on the childcare and broadband as well. But we don't have a whole lot of time. There's only a half hour. And they will allow for Q&A. There's the assumption that there's going to be a fair amount of questions. And then the other part about it is that we don't know what kind of time lag is going to be associated with translating. So unless they're talking about 100% about butter, we're not going to be able to have a local translator.
That's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe not.
I
Yeah.
hope they talk a little about it.
okay. Then September 4th, and then we'll be back to our normal. Normal agenda. Okay. So, what's on the horizon for the 4th?
Well, we have Eaton and Dyke's review is going to be on. So that one's going to generate a little bit of interest, I would think, and yeah. So aside from that, I think it's just more normal stuff for them. That one will be interesting.
Have him last on the list.
Yep.
Right. Okay. There's nothing else.
Motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned.